Well, good morning, everybody. It's good to be with you again. I hope you had a wonderful week end before we have a chance to get started. And what I thought I'd talk a little bit about this morning, just for something that's been sort of concerning me, is getting caught in an emotional spiral. Ever had one of those days when one unhappy thought seems to lead to a full on negativity fest? Like you made a small mistake, maybe around the house or at work, and now you're worrying about getting fired or having a mess on your hands. Yep, I think most of us have been there. It just keeps spiraling out of cold and out of control. And it seems like that if one little thing happens, several other little things seem to follow right along behind, like saying, "Well, I was just waiting for the opportunity here to express my negativity to you." Our minds had this weird knack of spiraling first into negativity when we least need it. Anxiety and worry take over and seem to impact our well being, uh, our spirits, our way of looking at the world. So, what exactly is spiraling? What techniques help break negative thinking patterns? And when might we consider even looking to reach out to our peers or even professional help at times if it gets too severe? What are negative thoughts? In the context of mental health, spiraling refers to a cycle of negative thought patterns. But bear in mind that there are also positive thought patterns that you can work on building to keep your spirits up. These negative thought patterns, though, can cascade and become overwhelming. It's sort of like catastrophic thinking, thinking of the very worst case scenarios you can imagine. That's often linked to spiraling behavior. One minute you're worried about a cough, and the next minute you're convinced you've got a serious illness. Or maybe you had a minor spat with someone, and suddenly you're stressing about a total explosion or even a breakup of the relationship. Some common triggers for spiraling thoughts when everything seems to be going right and then it isn't are stressful life events. Things like losing a job, relation breaking up, illness or death of a partner or beloved family member or friend. Other personal crises can help trigger spiraling thoughts. Social media comparisons. Oh, another reason to get some downtime from social media. Scrolling through social media and comparing oneself unfavorably to others can often lead to spiraling negative thinking. Overwhelming workloads, feeling swamped with tasks and responsibilities can trigger intrusive thoughts of never being able to cope or succeed. And as I mentioned earlier, relationship issues of a variety of kinds, problems in personal relationships can easily lead to a downward spiral of negativity and anxiousness. Understanding triggers that set off negativity uh, and build awareness is the first step toward developing coping mechanisms and overcoming and even stopping these spiraling thoughts. Uh, One of the things you can ask yourself always is, why am I emotionally spiraling? It's normal to feel this way sometimes when life throws curveballs or gets super stressful. Our minds can zoom in on the negatives of or our biggest fears. And things like a bad day will seeing everyone else's perfect life on social media or just being super tired can make it feel even heavier. Spotting what's sparking these feelings is a big step in getting a handle on them. Spiraling behavior refers to actions driven by negative, anxious thoughts. The behavior often manifests itself in reacting disproportionately to situations, constantly worrying, overthinking, avoiding certain situations, or even seeking frequent reassurance. Am I okay? Is everything all right? Am I doing this right? Is this wrong? It's a behavioral response to the fear or anxiety produced by spiraling thoughts, and it can become a vicious cycle if it's not avoided. So how do you try to avoid a downward spiral going out of control? Uh, to keep your thoughts from running wild, you might want to stay in the now. Mindful practices like meditation can help keep you grounded in the present moment instead of worrying about everything in life. Have a go to strategy. Learn and practice coping strategies like deep breathing, even a quick jog or walk, or talking to a supportive friend when you feel yourself starting to spiral is helpful. Know your triggers. If certain topics or situations send your mind racing, be aware of them and think of ways to handle or step aside from them. Asking for help is always a good strategy. Other people have probably been through things similar to yours and came out the other side pretty well intact, and they may have learned some life lessons they can share with you. Uh, be it a supportive friend or a professional counselor, they are there to help. So, how do you try to stop an emotional spiral? It can be challenging, but it is achievable with practice and the right strategies. And as the holiday period, with all of its added activities and obligations come into play, knowing what to do is truly helpful in getting through the holidays in a good frame of mind and in good spirits, really enjoying them instead of agonizing over so many things. First, take a breather. The moment you feel that whirlwind of emotions, just stop. Take a few deep breaths. It can make a world of difference. Again, as I mentioned just a bit ago, stay in the moment. Mindfulness can be a game changer. It helps pull us back to the here and now. Questions about thoughts. Are those thoughts really true? Challenge them. Sometimes they're just passing clouds. All clouds aren't white and fluffy, some are dark and gray. So challenge them. Take time to chat with someone that you trust who can help you look at things as they are and uplift your spirits. Talking it out really is a huge help. Be kind to yourself. Hey, these spirals happen to all of us. Give yourself a break and remember that you are making your best effort and doing the best you can. And finally, stop. Just stop for a few minutes. Maybe go outside and stare at the clouds or look at uh, the neighborhood. Just take a break. Uh, Dr. Chris Musanek came up with 10 ways, and you can slow this down and write them out if you want. To help stop the spiraling and manage negative thoughts. Uh, They can become overwhelming if you let them, but by being aware and trying out different ways to manage your thoughts, it's possible to break the cycle. Experiment with a combination of some of these following techniques I'm going to give you to see what works best for you. It's okay to have a cloudy day, but you're better equipped to find relief when you're feeling down if you have adequate tools. And these are 10 tools that might be helpful for you. Again, that staying in the moment with mindness keeps coming up in all the literature I've read. Don't go wandering off into other fields of thought and dredging up more negative things to worry yourself with. uh, Deep breathing and calming down your central nervous system when you're overstressed and there are too many demands being made on you in the moment to be able to cope effectively are certainly beneficial. Shake it off. When you're feeling down, get up and move around. I'm going to say that again. When you're feeling down, get up and move around. Or if you're sitting in a rocking chair, I guess you could rock away and try to get to town, but I don't think you'd make very much progress doing that. Exercise releases those feel good chemicals that can turn your mood around. It doesn't have to be a marathon. Even a quick dance in your living room can help you get out of your head and back into the real world and into the moment. Learn something new. This really is quite beneficial. Engaging your brain in a new skill or hobby can be a fantastic distraction and it can also offer purpose that'll help ground you. Whether it's a new language, a new craft, or even a new musical instrument, immersing yourself in learning can shift your focus and get you out of that downward spiral. Having a passion, and maybe, one of these things could turn into a new passion, is so important. It excites and invigorates you. Number four is writing it down. Jotting down how you're feeling can help you progress to process them better. I'm not a big journaler, but I have learned that journaling is like having a chat with yourself. And sometimes you'll even find a solution you had not considered before. It's a way of externalizing what's going on inside your mind, providing some clarity, and often reveals solutions or alternate ways of thinking that you had not yet considered. Uh, Journaling helps so much in processing feelings. Number five, count your blessings. Make it a daily habit to list things you're thankful for. Even if you're having a real stinky day, you've got something to be grateful for. This act can pivot your focus from what's wrong to all the things that are right in your world. Sometimes it's more fun to make a game out of it. Maybe try having a special box or jar where you keep your little slips of paper with the things you're grateful for written down on them. Then, when you're having a bad day, you can reach in and read one or two of them to improve your mood. I actually do that and it's a great big pickle jar. And every day I put at least one gratitude in there just for the days when things don't seem to be quite as rosy as they could be. Number six is treat yourself. Take some time for self care. It might be a warm bath, reading a book, or spending time in nature. Just giving yourself a little love can work wonders. These acts of self compassion can provide a welcome break from an anxiety spiral, particularly. Number 7, chat it out. Expressing your feelings can be therapeutic, and sometimes just voicing your fears and concerns aloud can lighten the load. You can share your feelings with a trusted friend, family member, or if you are blessed to have a support group to talk with, perhaps you would choose one of your support group friends or the mentor that you have connected with in the group. But be sure to ask that person if they are in the right frame of mind to be your sounding board. And be sure to let them know it's if you're purely expressing feelings or if you're looking for solutions. That's critically important. I also think that it's good if you have something you really want to talk about seriously to ask them if they have not only the mindset, but the time to engage in such a conversation. That's just being respectful of your fellow supporter. Try reframing negative thoughts. You don't have to believe everything you think. When a negative thought pops up, question it. Is it in fact a reality or is it just a feeling? Reframing thoughts is a more realistic, in a more realistic light, can halt the spiraling process. You just may be feeling that way. It may not be a fact, whatever it is that you are focusing on that is sending you down to the pits. Limit your exposure to negative input. Recognize the common triggers that lead to your spiraling thoughts and work on strategies to avoid or manage them. For example, if scrolling through social media or watching the news spirals you into negativity, it's okay to take a break. Turn off social media, turn off the news. You are in control. You do not have to sit there and watch something that upsets you, about which you may not even be able to do anything to change except turn off the constant feed, the constant input. I think all of us also probably have a friend or family member that is really good at giving you negative input. And that's someone that you may simply let the phone go to voicemail if you're not in the right frame of mind to deal with that particular negativity and add it on to what you're going through at that particular time. Uh, Tip number 10 is to seek building a steady, dependable routine. Having a structured daily routine does, in fact, provide a sense of stability. Knowing what's next can be comforting and help reduce anxiety stemming from uncertainty. Reduce the likelihood of spiraling by having that routine uh, on which you can depend throughout most days is so important. There comes a point sometimes when managing your spiraling thoughts may benefit even from professional intervention, and do not rule such an action out. Persistent negative thought spirals, despite your best efforts, might indicate underlying anxiety disorders or depression. And recognizing when spiraling thoughts are beyond our control and affecting daily uh, functioning, relationships, and overall well being is crucial. We need to get help when we need to get help. And there is certainly no shame involved in seeking professional help to navigate some of the stormy waters that some of us find ourselves in. So, what I hope that you will be able to do is turn your spiral in an upward direction when it reaches the bottom. And just as a little clue from me to you, sometimes I find that even food can send me into a negative eating spiral. And I would suggest to you that if you have certain foods that are triggers, that you be very aware of them and do try to minimize your exposure to these foods, because once the spiral begins, it is going to take some work on our parts to get it turned around and heading back to where we are looking forward with joy and happiness in every day, in every way. And that is my wish for you today. Much joy, much happiness, and enjoy the journey always.